This reminds me of Abyssal Reef, I think it is. Whoa. Oh my god.
Oh, the
There's no way
lightning.
that's gonna stay in. Yeah.
Let's go.
As that won't make it through QA, I don't think, but that's really cool.
It is really sick.
Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing for K10. That's right, yeah. It is the South Korean, hailing from Japan, HonMonO.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Anomaly, the correct anomaly this time for the first time in this tournament, this map, we have the yellow Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is Exostriker.
Oh boy.
This map is so visually striking. I love it.
It is. I like it visually. I hate the map just because I really struggle with these kind of maps. Firstly, I think these kind of maps become very good for Zerg just because as you take these kind of middle bases, your creep naturally just covers them and defends all the other bases.
Yeah.
So I think you get a very safe 4 bases very quickly, and it's very hard to punish just because there's not many rotations for the Hellions. I mean, there's actually no rotations for the Hellions. That's really rough. But I think the other reason that I don't like it personally is just because I get very disorientated on maps like this.
I was about to say, I don't know how often or what this is like maybe closest to, but yeah, the map layout here is really jarring. It's like the most eccentric that we've seen today so far. Where like you've got the natural, but then like your natural has a ramp leading down into the wilderness, but also like a pathway that branches into 2 more pathways into a forward third and a triangular third. Like it's crazy.
Actually, I don't know what third you take as Zerg. I think you probably take the forward one.
I think yeah, but even this forward, it gets so weird. Yeah.
This could be, but this seems really abusable. Like, I'm just imagining, like, really fast tank pushes where you drop tanks on the bottom and they're hitting the minerals.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm not sold on this map, actually. I know we're not meant to be judging them necessarily, but...
Now we can judge, it's fine. It's just, like, the layout of this map is just so quirky. It reminds me a little bit of, was it Nightshade? A little bit of Nightshade, maybe.
Yeah,
because we've been casting a little bit of Nightshade in the OC King of the Hill, and it's a little bit similar, but even Nightshade is a little more standard, or layout is a little more structured.
I don't know what third you take as the Protoss. Actually, this is going to be rough for Protoss versus Terran. There's just so many angles you can attack from.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm thinking of, like, the Protoss third, and especially because of just the entryway into the natural, the area between the natural and at least the southern third, that's what I'm thinking of, is brutal. And if we take the northern third, it's just it's wild.
Yeah, I could attack from anywhere.
yeah, nowhere is safe. Like, normally it's like, okay, there's one safe third and then there's one like crazy third, but here it's nowhere is you just exposed. It's my map back. There's no pants.
100%, but here we go. HonMonO going to be opening up with Mass Reaper Hellion opening. 3 Adept tend to be very good against this sort of thing. We can see just how effectively Exostriker has shut this down already. And behind this, HonMonO, okay. Looks like it's going to be an all-in. So 2 base all-in, or kind of a 1.5 base all-in. This is something that I'm seeing slowly creep into the meta lately. A bit more at this kind of 6k level, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it maybe a little bit more soon. I think it makes sense just because the shield battery's a bit weaker now. But this hasn't quite gotten off the ground for HonMonO yet. Exostriker doing a fantastic job with these Adepts, putting some harassment on.
Exactly. What's that? 3 SCVs do go down. Every single Hellion and Reaper across the map is being cleaned up as well. We have 1 Hellion, but 1 Hellion on its own can't really do too much. So Exostriker, his defense has been on point. And I worry here because typically when we go for these 2 base all-ins, like, I mean, sure, we don't really need a good economy, but we need enough to at least sustain the production, you know?
Yeah, and Exostriker, he knows what's going on here. He's gone up to 4 gates. Doing this from a Phoenix opening, you can only be doing this if you're expecting some kind of all-in. It just doesn't really make sense otherwise.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's clued onto what's happening. And as you were saying, losing those Marines at the start to those Adepts, it actually has a really big snowball effect, especially with pushes like this where you don't get stim and combat shields. Every single Marine counts.
It really does, and this is just going to be slowing down HonMonO. We'll see if he does try to transition out of this. We'll see if he does whip out the Hon Mech, or sorry, the Hon Macro is what I meant to say. As the tank count is getting quite high, but you know, you can have a high tank count, but what's going to protect it, right? What is going to be looking to provide any support here with these? How many Vanilla Marines are we going to have?
Yeah, I mean, the name of the game here for Exostriker is going to be kiting this across the map, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty long journey across the map too. I'm wondering what the natural to natural rush is. It looks like it's pretty long.
Yeah, it looks pretty big. Comparable to altitude, I almost want to say. Now that I look at it, so maybe not the best map to whip this out on. Regardless, HonMonO, he does on siege, he's going for it. The observer scouts everything, by the way. Exostriker sees all, and he's going to be able to dip in with his phoenixes.
Yeah, HonMonO behind this, actually pumping out Vikings, going to be going for a small SUV just for those bunkers, but the Phoenix are on it. They have plenty of energy for pickups here, and non-stim Marines really don't threaten them that much. There's a lot of room for error here for Exostriker, and he's going to do his best just to hold this push. Already 2 Immortals and a massive army. He is so well prepared for this.
Yeah, he really is. He's going to dive on this army as soon as possible, and even if we do get siege up these tanks, the Phoenixes are here to stop them, and non-stim Marines, they can't really slow them down.
Yeah, you can see the map features kind of playing into this defense as well. Having 2 ramps that you can come down on this from makes the defense a lot stronger here. And this choke here that HonMonO has to push up through, really difficult. I think I'd actually like to see him pushing the tanks up the right side ramp and putting them against the edge of the ramp here. But he will be able to pick off these buildings that are exposed at the front.
Yeah, the Robo goes down the gateway as well. So we're only really seeing 1 disruptor here for Exostriker. A couple of tank volleys do go off as well. And apparently we're also in range of that pylon.
Yeah, so a few more things going to be going down here that should depower that battery at the front as well, but Exostriker doing the right thing here, just being very patient. Doesn't want to pull the trigger just yet, but he is starting to take damage on the Nexus, and yeah, this is really awkward. I just don't really see a good angle down, but he has enough energy on the Phoenix. He can go for the big pickups on the tanks. I don't think the Marines and the Vikings are going to kill the Phoenix fast enough that the units won't be able to get on top of everything on the ground, and Exostriker looks like he's got everything he needs. That eBay from HonMonO, really, really cool, though. That's going to make things a lot more difficult.
Yeah, because as he does actually get a kill on that Nexus, it does go down. He needs to provide as much SimCity as possible here to protect his tanks. He's slow sieging up this ramp. He does siege, but here we go. Exostriker is pulling the trigger.
Yeah, he's going to go for it. So picking up a few of those tanks actually saves that one tank from the Disruptor unintentionally, but he will be able to pick up the back tanks as well. There's just not really enough Marines to contend with the Stalker count right now. But the tank is doing a lot of damage here. There's no energy for a pickup.
Yeah, but there's only a tank remaining and 3 Marines, and that's not going to be enough. The tank goes down. HonMonO technically has a higher base count here, but Exostriker is quick to rebuild, and he has an army to counterattack.
Yeah, I mean, the supply tells the story here. HonMonO, it was a kind of 1.5 base all in, so his natural is only half saturated, and yeah, there's pretty much nothing at home to defend this. I don't think he even has a tank.
Yeah, no tank, a Viking, a handful of Marines. The boys are being pulled here to try to defend, but Exostriker has a little bit too much going on. HonMonO, I appreciate the all-in. I appreciate his execution of it, but GG gets called.
Yeah, GG. Exostriker just a little bit too on it, and I mean, that is why Stargate openers as well have been so popular in this matchup, just for that early scouting. You can be running that Phoenix in and out, just getting a good look at everything that's going on, and from there, if you are sharp with your responses and patient like Exostriker was, you have all the tools.
Oh, you have all the tools, and with that, Exostriker takes a lead in the series. We're going to be looking to jump into game number 2, and game number 2 is going to be on a map called Mansion Park.
Okay.
It's a snow map. It's a really pretty map. It's pretty. Oh, you'll see.
All right, cool. Snow map scares me because I just think of altitude, but I'll have an open mind.
Shaking my head. Oh my god. Here we go. We're going to be loading on in. Oh, and yeah, Exostriker one game away from moving on to the semi-finals.
All right, let's have a look. My God, what is this map? This is very strange. It looks like a 2v2 map.
Yeah, it's blue, Papi. It's blue. It's beautiful.
It does look really nice, actually.
Yeah, it does.
As spotting in the bottom right-hand corner of the map for K10, this is HonMonO.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mansion Park, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Protoss player for Alpha X. It is Exostriker.
Is this meant to be Stormwind City?
I don't think so. There are the alliance logos in the naturals for both players. But I think that's it.
The mains kind of look like Stormwind.
True. Kind of. You got that like kind of castle look, you know, the fortifications a little bit.
And the carpet through the center and stuff.
True, yeah, the carpet as well. Yeah. Very WoW-esque.
And that is the Alliance logo in the natural, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Got the blue Alliance logo bottom right, and we got the red Alliance logo top left. Unfortunately, no Horde logo. Feels bad, man.
Wait, is that not... What's this?
Oh, that is the Horde logo. Yeah, there you go. Damn.
They get the rich bases, because it's Zerg.
What?
They're Zerg bases.
Shaking my head. The other interesting thing about this, I don't know if you noticed, but there's actually like visual effects on the gas guys in the main, and also like it's like every other base has like these, like heat vents, you know.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. Like a little teleporter pad.
Yeah, the natural has it as well. I was like, oh, is there like a reason? Is there like extra gas? I was like, no, it's it's just a visual thing.
I like the forests in the corners as well, the top left and bottom right. Bottom left and top right corners.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna be seeing much of it, but like aesthetically, like I really do love it. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So aesthetically, it's really nice. Okay, main jump up spot. That's a pretty fair Reaper jump.
Yeah.
It's a double jump again, so double jumps do tend to be pretty bad for Reapers, but at least it's not at the main ramp, and there's a bit of width to it as well. It's not good for... I don't think you can play Blink on this map, which I'm happy with, but this Protoss players probably aren't going to be happy with.
Yeah, the entryway into the main, or the main is a little bit smaller than some of the other maps that we've seen, and the kind of ways in are a little bit one-dimensional, so a little bit easier to defend here against something like Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, I don't think you definitely can't play 4-gate Blink on this map.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the wall for the Protoss is pretty nice. The Reaper wall, that's comfortable enough.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Although, actually, I think... Oh yeah, you can hide your tech. I think that's a full wall. You can't jump the Reaper up at all.
Yeah, exactly. The buildings are hugging the wall, so we can't really see any of the tech. As we do have a Stargate opener coming out from Exostriker.
Yeah, so Stargate once again just going to be a little bit extra safe. Looks like it was a reactive first opener for HonMonO, so he's going to be going for this rather odd Marine move out, and he does catch the Phoenix out on the map, but not going to be catching Exostriker not looking, so doesn't get any hull damage.
Yeah, Exostriker, he was looking, only taking some shield damage. The Adepts turn back around, and these Marines are going to get cleaned up.
Oh, and HonMonO's just all-inning again.
it's HonMonO, Papi. Like, look.
I saw this build yesterday. This build's so weird. It's one of the weirdest builds I've ever seen.
Yeah, he did it against Lemon, right?
Yeah. It's absolutely bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. It makes no sense to me, but I suppose if you haven't seen it before, it's very confusing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone does reactive factory into, like, two-base all-ins.
I mean, the problem is that we're already losing a lot, and here we go. The Adepts, they do shade past the army. They get into the middle line. A lot of SCVs are going to be going down across that HonMonO. There's a full wall. The Hellions don't make it in.
Yeah, full wall on the other side as well. So the Hellions going to be stuck there. Phoenix just waiting for energy to lift that up as they work their way at that pylon, but they are not going to be able to get that down in any time at all. And the Adept still just running free. And once again, HonMonO both being scouted and having a lot of his early units taken out. So these kind of builds, they rely on the aggression, keeping your opponent at home, and then because they're kept at home, they don't get any clue of what you're doing, and then you're doing something that makes no sense, so it works really well. But yeah, with this being pushed back so effectively, that kind of takes all the wind out of his sails.
It really does. And again, Exostriker, upon seeing everything, he goes up to 4 gates. He's already got an Immortal on the way as well with that Robo. Like, he's working on plenty to defend back at home, and HonMonO has been found out, has already kind of gotten the wind taken out of his sails. Is, I guess, gonna have a chance here, of course, with his push eventually, but he's been slowed down a lot.
Yeah, for sure. As that base goes down and things quiet off a little bit, I'm gonna have a bit more of a look at the map. I think looks good for Terran again. We've got 7 bases on each side. The bases are quite defensible as well. I suppose it's going to be pretty hard to take a 4th, so that does kind of balance things out. Oh, not a 4th, sorry, a 5th. 4th is really nice.
Yeah. The 5th may be a little bit awkward here. The other thing that I did take note of is that the rush distance by ground is actually really short, especially if you do kill the rocks in the middle. So that could lead to a lot of, like, especially like Roche Queen, like Ling all-ins. Like, it's absurdly short if the rocks go down. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you can put tanks up on this height. I don't think I'd be too worried about that. But maybe in something like a TvP, where you can just barrel things down the middle at any time. It's a bit scary.
Maybe. As we do see the pieces coming in from behind, and the tanks once again are going to be lifted up, and there just isn't enough on the ground to really support them. Oof.
Wow, yeah, beautiful concave from Exostriker. Really well timed with the lifts as well. Doesn't even lose a Phoenix here. He just defends this effortlessly. And for HonMonO, a little bit unfortunate, but I do think it was maybe a little unwise to go for such a build when the first game it was shut down so effectively.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you show aggression in one game, then your opponent is going to be that much more on top of that scouting and that much more aware in the second. And yeah, HonMonO trying different variations 2 games in a row is quite going to be able to work out. He's got +1 on the way. It looks like he's working on some other upgrades as a bit of a follow-up, but Exostriker is kind of free to saturate his 3rd.
Yeah, HonMonO is just going to be committing to this all-in anyway, which I think makes sense. There's not really any way you can transition after you cut so many SCVs in the early game. Yeah. Oh, if he loses a tank, that is so painful. And he doesn't even get the Phoenix. Every single tank just completely changes the outcome of the fights here. And I think losing that tank here just kind of takes away any timing that he maybe had to try to redeem himself in this game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, again, it's already looking a little bit rough here for HonMonO, but if we're going for a follow-up all-in, then we need every unit we can muster, and now we're down to 2 tanks once again. HonMonO even getting a little bit supply blocked for a moment there, but he's going to be able to break free from that. But then Exostriker is just being so vigilant with his Phoenixes, just being so attentive to picking up whatever he can, and HonMonO, he throws in a 3rd. Yeah,
okay, so HonMonO recognizing that he can't really get anything done with this. Looks like he's actually set up very defensively as well, so he's a bit worried about what Exostriker might be bringing his way, but Exostriker looking to just get further ahead, set up that 4th down to the south there, and yeah, this looks very nice for the Protoss. This is a pretty interesting 4th as well. I do like that there's a ramp and there's this big wall here, but the minerals actually stop tanks from getting right on that ledge, and I think the ramp is far enough away from the base that it's not going to be too oppressive, so I feel like the map maker has properly balanced those things out.
Yeah, where like obviously this high ground is going to be advantageous for the aggressor, but it isn't going to be like within range of like the base itself, so there is going to be a little bit of breathing room there for the defender, and yeah, it's quite nice.
Yeah, I like this map. I'm a fan.
They're all Terran maps,
Oh, the top right, there's like, you can see where the car's driven through. It's like the gate there into the forest.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's cute.
That's neat.
So you can leave the map and get out of there.
Get out of here. Yeah, I think Yeah, I think this map's going to be pretty nice for everyone except Zerg. For Zerg, I don't really know where you take fights. It's not
Yeah.
very open, and because of the way that all these little staircases and ramps and everything are set up, I think it's really awkward to run around for surrounds. It's going to be pretty obvious as well, and it's going to be not that hard to kind of leave units there to see when the
Yeah.
surrounds are coming.
Yeah, I completely agree
Yeah, I
here.
just
Like,
I feel like some of these ledges, like this big ledge where the rich gas base is, on other maps, this might be like destructible rocks that can be opened up or something.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting here. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're probably going to get a pretty similar dynamic that we have maybe on, say, Neo Humanity. I know Neo Humanity is a little bit more open in the middle, I guess. But yeah, I don't know if we're going to be seeing too much like macro play out of Zerg on this map, and we just be maybe seeing some more like aggressive styles instead, just to be forced out if we do see this get into the map pool.
Yeah, that's a good point. Zergs have been very flexible in this map pool and have actually made some good strategies for Neo Humanity, which
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be a map that Zerg would do very well on, but at least lately they've been catching people off guard, which is cool to see. But here we go, HonMonO in a very total position here, and we are going to be having Exostriker rotating around to try to find an angle. Nice open space here in the natural, so he is set up very well here. He might even be able to cut this off by engaging and then go over into the natural of HonMonO, but looks like he just wants to take the fight.
Yeah, he can just fight. There we go. The Zelda just rush on forward. Every single tank goes down. There's just an overwhelming army of Protoss, and HonMonO not quite going to be able to be cheeky and get away with the cheese this time. GG gets called, and Exostriker takes the 2-0 and moves on to the semifinals.
GG, nice game there for Exostriker, and he was looking very well prepared.
Oh yeah, very well prepared indeed. I don't know if he has too much experience with HonMonO. He was just playing it out safe just because he maybe doesn't know too much about him. Regardless, really nicely done by our Protoss player. And now we move on to our first semifinals match. We're going to be having a bit of a ZVP between Demi versus Yomek.